How many of you are here for the first time? Please raise your hand if it's your first time. Wow. We have truly been blessed, as this is our fourth event in the last 12 months. And what a 12 months it's been. When I look back and think about how this all came together, it started with a dinner and an event at our good friend, Dr. Jeff Spencer's house. We knew, or I should more or less say, Nick knew, that something needed to be said, that we needed to have a better understanding of what was to come and what was possible. We wanted to hang out with like-minded individuals. And when I look around the room, and look around the room right now, because you're going to see some new faces that you're going to make friends with this week. You are all like-minded individuals. So we found ourselves here. We live to learn and give to earn. One of my favorite sayings that Nick has brought to us recently. Nick, who was it that came up with that? We live to learn, we give to earn. Wow. There we go. Nick, 4,200 years ago. And I thought about starting out something like 7 years ago, and then I was like, wait, that's a little dated. But what it does make me think about is the length of time it took us to get here. Nick says, slower than we want, faster than we think anything is possible. What does that really mean? Well, it depends. Another favorite line that most of us know. But it truly does depend, because it can mean something different to each and every one of us. Days seem like weeks, weeks seem like months, and the last year could seem like a lifetime. And here's the thing, and I'll speak from my perspective, because I don't want to imprint a blanket statement. It's still a little echoey, if we can fix that. Sorry. I don't want to put a blanket statement on any one of you. There has been more done in the last 12 months than some people see in a lifetime. And a lifetime, though it seems like a big word, it really isn't, because it's larger than us. So, the speakers this weekend have an amazing lineup. The people who will be speaking with you on stage might want you to ponder how life would have been if you had met them 10 years ago. Undoubtedly, if you were to have met them 10 years ago and subscribed to these individuals as they are today, you would have been healthier, wealthier, and wiser. In some cases, exponentially so. It can be an ongoing, agonizing exercise that will not yield any benefit, only regret. However, these gentlemen, while certainly amazing in their own right, 10 years ago, were still on their own journey that brought them here today. They have dug deep, worked hard, suffered, succeeded, and shared their amazing insights all along as they continue to grow and evolve. The best advice that I can give you is not to look backward at what could have been, but consume and digest what you are about to hear this weekend, and sincerely commit to applying what uniquely fits for you and making today the first day of the next 10 years of your own fabulous journey. Now, you'll notice that the words were a little bit differently there from the beginning. One of my dear friends and good partners, business partners back in the back room wrote that last part, Jeff Moore, if any of you haven't met, and I highly recommend that each one of you have a conversation with him this weekend. His words are poetic, meaningful, and allow you to know what could be next for you. So again, Jeff, would you stand up real quick? Jeff Moore. It's vertically challenged. There we go. Few house cleaning items before I bring up our next speaker. So tonight at 6 p.m., We have 2 buses. They will fit all of us, no problem. We have, let me rephrase that, not we. Angela has rented out a private airport at Hangar 1. We are needing everyone to get onto the buses because there's alcohol, there's food, there's liability. So we need, even if you have a car, we need you to park here and go on the buses, okay? The buses will leave from Hangar 1 starting around 8:15. Angela, what time will the buses, after the 6 o'clock from Hangar 1, what time will they start leaving Hangar 1? Yeah. Plus, we also don't have parking at this place, but it's an amazing venue. We'll talk more about what we're going to do tonight. Some of you were informed of that last night, and I just want to say, for those that were there last night, we raised over $21,000 for Genius Recovery. A big part of that, and I want to recognize this individual, was by Douglas James. Douglas, would you stand, please? Stand. Douglas donated $10,000 to Genius Recovery, and we'll get more into that, but I just wanted to recognize Douglas and his contribution and everyone else that contributed to that last night. Now, this one disclaimer is for what happened at the last event. There is no smoking or vaping at Hangar 1, okay? If you want to do it, you need to go off the premises. So no smoking, no vaping at Hangar 1 tonight. Please, I would like to get the $2,000 deposit back. Other than that, tonight is for everyone. It's not VIP. It's not general admin. It is for everyone. So please, we look forward to seeing you later on tonight. There's a gifting table in back. Lunch will be around 12:30 this afternoon. And from there, the next individual that I want to introduce, ooh, that just slid. One of my dear friends. He's going to help walk through what it is like to be teammates over the next 2 days. And there's no one better to do this than this next individual.
Winning is a skill, and I'm going to teach you the skill of winning. When I was 7, I decided to become an Olympic cyclist. My odds of becoming an Olympian were like 180 million to 1. Coming from a welfare family, you could probably quadruple those odds. At 21, I was an Olympian, but in a certain sense, I was just getting started with my career. The lesson that I learned there is that you got to have good coaches. I started my career working with athletes that wanted to win gold medals and make millions of dollars. I also had people in business that came to me that realized to be successful, they had to become their own champions. I incorporated what I learned from the athletic world to them as business people. Did 9 Tour de France's. I've been on Richard Branson's island with him, time with Tiger Woods, behind stage working with U2, preparing for and executing a world tour. When you work with me, you're gaining access to my 300,000 hours in the high performance space over the last 50 years. In my model, the Champions Roadmap, we look at the individual needs of the person, and then we chart a very specific sequence of actions that, when executed correctly, take them from where they are to where they want to go. As a person starts to see that there is a model, they start to gain confidence in themselves and in their unlimited power and in their unlimited ability. I'm going to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. We're going to identify your blind spots. We're going to construct the smoothest path forward, and I'm going to help you execute every step along the path to your success. The bottom line is, I build champions. And that's what I do.
I would like for you to stand on your feet and welcome the individual, my good friend, who has helped over 46 Olympic medalists, Dr. Jeff Spencer.
Well,
Well, thanks everybody. The first thing I always do is I ditch the podium, if you don't mind here. So one of the things that I would like to kind of start with is that I'd like everybody to stand up. I want everybody to come up here on stage. Let's form a big circle. So we're going to do this Olympic style in Olympic time. So you got 10 seconds to come on up here and let's form a giant circle. This is not going to be 2 or 3 rows deep. It's going to be like one continuous circle. So let's come on up. We can also do it down here as well. Let's spread ourselves out. Okay, find that partner next to you. One big circle, please. Okay, let's go, Petey. And we also have got Courtney coming up here. We're not going to go 2 or 3 deep. We're going to go into one continuous circle here. That looks great. This is a lot better than just a static podium. One of the things I want to bring your attention to, like right now, is that what you'll notice here, that this is not a hub that has spokes that radiate out to the perimeter, but this is a continuous linkage, is what this is. And what you'll notice here is that there are different shapes and sizes. People come in all sorts of packages. And what's important about this is that there is no insignificant link in this chain. If any one of these links is weak, it doesn't perform, then it compromises the outcome of the entire effort. And so what I want to say to you, that every one of you brings your distinction to this conversation over the next 2 days. And I don't want you to forget that, because we live in a world of comparison where we're judging ourselves against everybody else's success or what their expectation is of us to become. And that's not fair. There are certain people that love micro. They like micro. There are certain people that want to influence 1 billion people. But the 1 billion people influencers can only do it if the micro person that lives in obscurity does their job. So there is no lesser significance of anybody. So can we please put that aside? And why don't we begin to start to connect with what we know to be true about ourselves, for who we are, what we represent? Because when you do that, then you're going to live the highest quality of life for yourself, and you're going to be giving back to people the best that you've got. And it's really important that at the end of the day, you walk off the field knowing that you did everything that you could. And if you're playing by everybody else's rules, or you're trying to prove everybody else wrong because of what they're saying, then you're playing on their side of the field. And that's not what champions do. So, something very important happened this morning here. When you were all sitting at the tables, you were known as attendees. But now that we've formed this circle where there is no distinction, you're now known as teammates. And I want you to look to your right, look to your left, look across the circle. And these are your teammates for the next 2 days. And let me share just a little bit about what teammates do. The first thing that teammates do is that they show up on time. Well, why do they do that? Because time is our most precious commodity. But more importantly than that is that when we show up on time, you know what that's saying to your teammates? I'm watching your back. That's what that's saying. And it's saying, you don't need to worry about me whether or not I'm going to show up and watch your back. You don't need to worry about me if I'm going to give you 100% of what I got. And when your teammates feel that, then all of a sudden they're going to give that back to you plus some. That sum is what makes exponential possible. You can't get there without a team. So what teammates do, they contribute. They not only show up on time, but they contribute. They contribute everything that they've got, and they don't hold back on anything. The thing that we may think is insignificant may be the thing that somebody needs to hear that creates exponential possibility in them as an individual, that creates something that's unique, perhaps even a paradigm shift, because you took the time to say it. You didn't decide the value of what you thought you could contribute. How many times have you thought about saying something, but you didn't, because you predetermined what the value of that would be? And you talked yourself out of something very good that left other people wanting. But we're not going to do that, because that's not what teammates do. Teammates also celebrate each other's successes, because there is no individual success. There is no I in team. T-E-A-M, there is no I. It's like team. And another thing that teammates do is that if somebody stumbles and trips and falls a little bit, you stop and you pick them up. You drag them up to the lead pack, because one of the things that teams do is that they show up together, they win together. If they lose together, they leave together, they regroup, and they come back stronger the next time. And that's what teammates do. And that's what makes dynasty rather than a one-act wonder. So I want to commit to that as being part of the operational commitment that we will make to each other as teammates over the next couple of days. We got a deal on that? All right. So we need to seal that deal. So I want to bring this in like actually really tight. Let's have everybody bring this in real tight. You guys come up here. I want you guys to come up here. We're going to go hands in. Let's get these hands in. Let's get these hands in. Let's get these hands in, okay? Okay, what we're going to do, it's going to be Gray Wolf on 3, and to the extent at which you commit to your teammates is going to be the volume that you share and say Gray Wolf with. Deal? Deal. All right. Then after that, we're going to turn this back to Nick Peterson. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Gray Wolf! All right, it's a wrap. We're officially rolling, everybody. Give yourself a big high five. There we go. Are you bringing Nick up? Present to you the one and only, the incomparable Nick Peterson. Let's bring him on.
Thank you so much.